Hello, everyone. Lisa Resnick here with Joe Midlick.
Hello.
How are you?
I am just doing legendary as always.
I love when you said that.
You're very
Once
welcome.
you start saying, well, first let's do the full introductions.
Sure.
This is Joe Midlick. He is the vice president of the Youngstown Marathon, as well as the sponsorship director.
Director of sponsorship.
Director of
Yep.
sponsorship for the
So,
Youngstown Marathon.
Two different levels of organization
and responsibility.
I'm the guy that brings in the money, so I'm the most important one.
You are the most important one.
Yep.
It's amazing how many people are intimidated by that role. You just dove right in.
I don't. Well, it's funny. I started out in the Youngstown Marathon the very first year as just a volunteer, and I was helping out at the race itself, and I got to know a lot of the folks. And Courtney, who was the president at the time, approached me and said, "How would you like to join the board?" I said, "As what?" And she goes, "I like the way you do things. How would you like to be the director of sponsorship?" Because I helped her out with the expo and brought in sponsors that way. I said, it'd be an honor. So they brought me on board, and I've been there ever since on the board. This year, I was newly elected as vice president as well. So
you must have been doing good.
I hope so.
So Joe is, first of all, let's get back to the legendary. So when did you start saying that and why?
This is how I started. I retired from Kodak. Okay. I was a regional manager there and a national account manager there. So I had a layover in St. Louis, and I was at the airport, and I went up to a Starbucks, right? And I ordered a cup of coffee. And when it was all said and done, the girl that gave me the coffee said, "Joe, have a legendary day." I said, "That is great. And I'm stealing that from you."
And then bam.
Bam. And I've been doing that for now like the last 9 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it feels good to say it, doesn't it?
I get a lot of smiles when I say it, believe me, an awful lot. So it just brings out a spark in a person.
I love it.
They don't expect it.
I like that better than make it a great day.
Right. In fact, I'm thinking about getting these T-shirts made with my face on it. Looking at big smiles, say, "Have a legendary day."
Love it.
Yep.
Now, would you incorporate that and have it streamlined into funneling into the Youngstown Marathon?
Oh, no, this is me.
Good for you.
Yep.
So do you have anything to do with, I know Huntington is a sponsor. Second Soul, of course,
right,
is a sponsor.
Our 4 key sponsors this year is Huntington Bank, Mercy Health, who's been fantastic. They'll have health stations set up throughout the race.
Good.
Second Soul, of course, and our new one this year is Penguin City,
which we have right here. Great lead in.
Cheers.
Let's crack it open, even though I'm trying not to drink so much this week because I will be participating in the marathon.
It's the carbs that'll work.
I know. They do say, actually, beer is really good. I know I said this before, but beer is actually a great recovery drink for after your run.
Absolutely.
So there's 3 different races this Sunday.
Actually, there's 4.
4?
Well, actually 5. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Saturday at the expo.
Okay.
We have the kids race. Okay. So there's a little race.
Okay.
Marco's Pizza is providing the pizza for the kids, as well as Kim's Confections is providing.
I love Kim's Confections.
So do I. Kim is so sweet. And she's providing all these great brownies. So that's the kids race at the expo, which is at the Davis YMCA.
Okay.
And we have 4 separate races. One is, we didn't promote it enough. We have the full marathon.
That's the one I'll be doing.
God
hopefully.
26.2 miles.
Yes.
And then we have the half marathon. We have the 5K. And newly this year is the bartender's 5K relay.
Actually, I have heard this because I know that Penguin City has been training for it.
They have been.
So how did that one come about?
It's an idea that I thought of, okay, because we wanted to do relays for the marathon, but we just weren't there yet. So this is really our trial basis. So I said, let's do that. And I said, especially since we have Penguin City as one of our sponsors, maybe we could approach the bars and make this a really fun event.
Okay.
And you ought to see the trophy. The trophy is really cool. It's about 3 feet tall.
Oh.
And on the base, there is a Penguin City tap there. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it goes up and it spreads out into a Y with a runner running towards a beer mug.
That's great. Who came up with this?
I did.
So you're a marketing guru at the same time.
That was my background, yes.
There
So,
you
yeah.
go.
So, yeah, in fact, Penguin City has been so cool that they actually developed a new beer for us that they're going to open up at the marathon, and it's called Latterman's Dark Lager.
Ooh.
I know it has that Youngstown flair of the Latterman's Falls. So
Penguin City's really good at incorporating a lot of the values and names that are utilized in our area.
oh, absolutely, they
I
are.
love
Yep,
it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I like that.
So do we. And
Have you been able to taste test it yet?
I was one of the first ones. Yes. Even though it's a darker beer, it's not that Guinness heavy darkness. It's a lighter beer. I don't know if you know anything about beers, but it's more on the
A
order,
little.
more on the order of a gauche. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean it's very, very good.
Do you know the ABV by chance?
I do not. I do not.
I'm hoping it's around that 5% marker.
Well, they're saying it's lighter than normal, so I'm sure it is. They're going to have that beer there, and obviously they're going to have Penguin City Light there too.
Oh, good.
So
I'll be covered just in case.
that's right.
Because this one's only 4.1. So you can drink several.
Mhm. And even at the race itself, Marco's Pizza is providing pizza for all the runners.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so we'll have pizza there. We'll have bagels there, the bananas, everything that you need to run.
How many tents do you have?
Tents throughout the expo, or I mean through the celebration.
No, after the race.
Okay, at Celebration Village.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, I didn't know that was the name.
That's the name of it. Yep. So after the runners are all done, they'll go to Celebration Village. That's where all the beer is. It'll be roped off. We have NovaCare there. That's going to be giving massages for the runners.
Good.
See, we think of a lot, don't we?
Yes, you do.
Yep. And we have a couple other vendors that are going to be there, peddling their stuff too. So it's going to be a fun time.
It does sound like it's a fun time and hopefully inspiring to people.
Yep. In fact, there's a new company coming out that's going to be there, Youngstown Drip, and this is more of an intravenous way to run marathons and so forth. And they're going to be at our expo and at the Celebration Village too.
So is this like an IV that
Yes.
we can get?
Yes, you can.
That's amazing. Can you get it while you're running?
They recommend before you run or after you run. So
is there like a little cocktail mix I can get in there?
You could bring it up with them.
So you not only are such an active member of the committee, the board for the Youngstown Marathon, but you're a marathon runner yourself.
I've ran a few marathons in my life. Yeah, more half marathons. I always try to plan a vacation with a run. So I've visited all 50 states. I have not ran in all 50.
Okay.
But I've been to all 50. I'm going to jump into somebody else if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
We have pacers, okay? And I'm sure you know what the paces are. Or they'll be running like, say, they'll have 4 hours up, and that's a 4-hour marathon. If you run with that person, you're going to hit 4 hours right on the dot. We have a 62-year-old lady coming in from Pittsburgh. Her name is Marie Bartoletti. She suffered a stroke 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
This race that she's going to run will be her 523rd marathon.
Holy cow.
Exactly.
Has she run the Youngstown Marathon before?
She ran it 2 years ago. And I was at the Pittsburgh Marathon, and I met her there. And I really took out my hand. I said, how would you like to run the Youngstown Marathon? And she goes, absolutely. She's ran in 6 out of the 7 continents. Only one she didn't run in, guess which one? Antarctica.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Yep, that's fair. Right. So she has ran all over there. I mean, like I said, she suffered a stroke about 7 years ago. She wrote a book called Perseverance, and she's just an incredible lady.
I'm going to have to listen to that book. I have like a million questions in regards to this. Like when she start running?
Yeah.
Was it before the stroke or was it after?
Before the stroke. It was before. Yep. So I don't think she could put in 523 marathons in 7 years.
I just recently myself heard of a story of a gentleman who is local to our area that was an addict at one point in time. And part of his therapy and helping him get over his addiction, he started to run.
Oh, yes.
So now he runs every day, like over 20 miles.
Every day over 20 miles?
Every day. And then on the weekends, he goes for the 50 miler, not 50K,
Right,
50
right. Yeah.
miler, 100 miler races all around the country.
Wow.
I mean, it's intense.
Wow.
I had another friend in Virginia that she too, I mean, she didn't run 20 plus miles a day, but she too ran excessively high mileage.
Yep.
That so she can run 100 milers like once a month. I mean,
Yep. That's incredible.
I give them props. I think
You and
they're
me both.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yep. In fact, we have a gentleman. His name is Mike Seach, who's going to be walking the 5K. He's a double amputee. He got his second prosthetic leg last September. So his goal is to walk 1 mile of the 5K. So it's a little feel-good story for him. So
but it's great. And when people go and they persevere through things.
Perfect word to use.
I mean, it truly is inspirational and legendary.
That's right.
See,
That's
so
right.
I mean, it really is. And that was what prompted me to run the 50K was I remember volunteering for a race.
Mm-hmm.
It was the North Face Challenge.
Okay.
And still in the States. I haven't ventured outside into any other country.
Right.
So one continent. But I remember just watching the runners come by.
Yeah.
And it was, you saw the marathoners, you saw the 50K, and you saw the 50 miler. Now the 50 miler people, I just was like, yeah, there's no way I want to do that. But the 50K people, that was like, hey, I think I can try to go for this.
Right.
But I mean, it's just amazing to me what runners have the ability to accomplish. And and even if you think you're not a runner, because I'm not a runner, I push it every time. It's not easy for me, but this is hence I don't go for time. But I really do think that we all have the capabilities if we're willing to push ourselves to persevere through those challenges that we face, whether running in life or whatever it may be. I think that there's very much a parallel symbolism of doing both.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, just like you, it's when you cross that finish line, especially after your first marathon. I don't know about you, but tears just came.
Oh, I know.
Yep. I mean, I was pretty fortunate. I started running because back in 1999, I was a bit overweight. Okay. I was approaching 200 pounds, and I said, I got to do something, right? And I live in McDonald, which is a really little village, but there's a lot of runners there. I mean, you just look out your window any day, anytime, there's runners going up and down the street. I said, I'm going to start doing this. So I had a goal in life at one point to visit all 50 states. And I went to Anchorage, Alaska in 2002, which was my 50th state. Okay. And I was 49 at the time. I just gave away my age. Okay. And that was my 50th state. And that's where I ran my first marathon. So it was in Anchorage, Alaska. And then I said to myself, you know what? You did good, but you could do better. So you were inspired. So when our daughter graduated from high school, we took her to Sydney, Australia. And I ran a marathon there. And then I ran one in Rome, Italy.
Which one was your favorite?
Well, the thing is, the one in Sydney, it's almost like Ireland. These people just love to party. So like what you're saying is you're running past them, they're passing out beers to you and have a good day, mate, and they're cheering you on. The thing about Rome, it was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was the first and only run that I ran that I carried a camera. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I didn't care about my time. I stopped and took pictures and kept going, right? But the worst thing about that race, 80% of that run is on cobblestones. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And I saw people stopping and taking off their shoes and their socks and putting gauze between their toes. I'm going, why are they doing this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I get done and I go to the hotel and I take off my shoes. I looked at them at my socks. My socks are nothing but blood.
Oh, yeah.
Because every one of my toenails just cracked. So I should have prepared for that. And I didn't.
I mean, they don't necessarily know on the race registration cobblestone.
Right.
Do
No, they don't. No, they don't.
So it'd be difficult to prepare for that.
Yeah,
And if you're already
absolutely.
in it, then
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
you're not going to back out, But
Like,
yeah, I mean, it went through all the landmarks. I mean, it started right at the Coliseum, went past the Circus to the Vatican. It was just gorgeous.
it's a great way to tour an
It
area,
is.
isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
I mean, that's similar to like the Youngstown Marathon. I mean, I absolutely love when you change the time of year from June to October.
I agree 100%. I mean, what is more beautiful than that majestic Mill Creek Park
It's gorgeous.
during the fall with the foliage changing and even the wildlife that's running around? I
I
mean,
know.
it's just, I mean, the only bad thing about it is all the hills.
Speaking of hills, what did you just say to me? Because I was explaining to Joe how intimidating the Youngstown Marathon is to me.
Right.
And what did you say?
There's good and bad news about the Youngstown Marathon. We were noted in Runner's World magazine, which is the biggest magazine for runners, that we're listed in the top 5% of the most difficult marathons to run. I mean, we have elevation of 1,500 feet.
Yes.
So what they're saying is, if you could qualify in the Boston Marathon and the Youngstown Marathon, you could qualify anywhere.
How did that come about, by the way? Being one of the Boston qualifier races.
Mark Lipinski was the one that pushed it. Okay. He got in touch with a couple folks. There's this guy named Scott Denham who came on. He's on our board now, and he worked with the Boston Marathon folks, and he got all the designs from them, and then he had to present the designs to them, and they have to approve it. They come here, they walk it through, and we got the check mark. We're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you by chance know the elevation for the Boston Marathon?
I do not.
I know it's not
No,
1,500.
it's not 1,500. No. I mean, I was just in the Columbus Marathon this past weekend.
Yes.
And you talk about something's flat. That was straight flat there.
Columbus Marathon is definitely a popular marathon.
It is.
It's in Columbus.
Right.
But B, it's because it's one of the flatter courses for a marathon. Same thing with Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
It's known as one of the flatter courses.
Right.
So people are more apt to register for those. But I'll tell you, everyone who has run the Youngstown Marathon, to me, I'm always in awe because I know how difficult it is to run this race.
Oh, absolutely it is. I mean,
even if it's just the half portion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the very first half marathon I ever ran, and that was in 1999, I think it was the Youngstown Classic, which is the half marathon through the Youngstown Runners.
Yes.
That is still, outside of Reno, the second most half marathon I ever ran. And the only reason why Reno is way up there, like Tahoe, is because of their elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just couldn't catch my breath. I mean,
it's difficult.
Yeah, really is.
Now, is there going to be any fuel along the way at any of these aid stations?
We have 18 water stations that will have not only water, Gatorade, and gel too.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. And then afterwards we can stuff ourselves with pizza. Now,
pizza and beer.
Does everyone relay 5K, half marathon, and the marathon runners get to enjoy the Penguin City, Latterman's Mill?
Anyone that's over the age of 21, they get to enjoy it no matter what race.
That's perfect.
Yep. So come on down. Our online registration closes tonight.
Okay.
But you could still come into our expo and even register the same day. So
last thing I want to talk about is spectators.
Yes.
Spectators are huge.
Not only spectators are huge, but if the spectators come cheering on, and if they have some crazy signs, bring out the crazy signs. When I was in the Columbus Marathon, one of the craziest signs I saw was, it could be worse. You could be into Squid Games and lose.
Oh my goodness. So this was recent because
it was
because the
Sunday.
Squid Game thing is like a huge topic right now.
Right. Yep.
And I must admit, I watched it. So I don't know about you, but I stay away from Dateline, like anything I can't watch any Halloween movies. I'm a baby. Like anything negative like that.
Right.
I stray away from. So I heard the popularity of the Squid Games.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it. Yeah.
Well, but I didn't hear enough about it.
Okay.
So, except it was on Netflix.
Right.
So here I am, wonderful mom that I am, next to my 12-year-old who tells me about it, says, all right, let's start watching some of this.
Yep.
I got 10 minutes in, shut it off, and I looked at it, was like, oh no, you're not allowed to watch this.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
this is not okay. But it's huge right now.
It's like the biggest series on Netflix ever. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
And I have not seen an episode yet. I just know what it's about. That's all.
So do you like Dateline?
I haven't seen Dateline ever. So.
So if you stay away from these things, like, why even make this part of your regular TV schedule?
Unlike you, I love horror movies.
Oh, do you really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you going to see the new Halloween, or have you seen the new Halloween?
I have not seen it, but eventually I will see it. I mean, when I was young and I was dating this girl, okay, we went to go see the original Carrie. Okay, I don't know if you ever saw it.
I have.
Okay, but in the very end, when the hand comes out of the grave, okay.
Okay, maybe I haven't seen
it. we both jumped. Okay, and I grabbed her and I went to hug her, and I hit her head too hard. It crushed my shoulder as she backed away. Her nose was bleeding.
Oh no!
Not too long after that, she fired me as a boyfriend.
Not quite the comfort.
No, it wasn't.
That's funny.
Yep.
So is there anybody that you know of that's going to be like dressed up, do you think, in costume or anything like that?
Not that I know of, but you know what? That's a really good thought. What we need to do is do something like that for next year, like for the 5K. But there's a big but. In all the water stations this year, the challenge is out there that all the water stations, we would like them all to address in a certain theme. Okay.
Oh.
Whatever it is, like there's Kim's Dance Studio that's coming out, and they're going to do like a red carpet theme. And then the runners are going to vote on who has the best theme. And then that water station is going to win $250 from us.
That is great. So can they bring food to up their game?
No. No.
Because by mile 20, I'll probably be hungry.
But they could bring instruments and music and just cheer you guys on too. So.
Oh, I love the instrument idea.
That's right.
That was like the rock and roll in DC.
It was, yes. Yep.
It was like every mile or so, they had music, a DJ, a band, whatever it may be, playing throughout the race, which was
Columbus
nice.
was like that too this past week, and I did a Cleveland rock and roll one, and they did the same thing.
It's great, and again, spectators.
Oh, yes, spectators are so important.
If you aren't running in any of the races being offered this weekend, please come out and support us runners, because we need all the support we can get to keep us going. We are less apt to stop if people are watching us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they motivate you. They push you through that.
They do.
Yep.
Especially the little kids.
Oh, yes. Right. Yep.
I always say, like, I never run fast enough that I can't give a high five.
I mean, there was 2 years ago, there was a gentleman running his first marathon, and his kids were like around 5 or 6. They were close to the finish line. And he sees him and goes, "Come on, kids." So they ran with him, holding hands, crossing the finish line.
See, that's beautiful. That
sure
is. I mean, and you think about the influence on those children, everything. It's such a positive, feel-good thing that that Second Soul and the Youngstown Marathon Board is bringing to our community.
I mean, and that's the biggest reason why I got on, is to bring notoriety to Youngstown. And like I said, I've traveled a lot. There isn't too many more places more beautiful than Mill Creek Park. Okay.
True.
And you got to remember, we are also a nonprofit organization. So what we do through these races, we raise money for charities. In fact, our 4 charities this year are the Youngstown Bluecoats.
Okay. What are the Youngstown Bluecoats?
I'm glad you asked that question. Okay. They're and I've helped them too. They're really unique. They go out and look for homeless folks with an emphasis on veterans. And what they do is they'll give them clothing, sleeping bags, and blankets. They literally go out like during the winter months around 8, 9 o'clock at night with these high-powered flashlights, and they can't give them food because we don't know about the allergies.
Yes.
So we look for them, and then we start talking to them and give us some comfort.
Yes.
And once again, I've done that a couple times with them. Tears just start coming down. We also have Rich Autism for Kids.
Okay.
We have Gleaner's Food Bank.
Gleaner's Food Bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
where are they located?
They're located on Hyatt Street.
Okay.
And our other one is Cadence for Kids, which is the old home for kids.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That is great. Now, how do you go through the selection process?
What we do as a board is we send out all the information, okay? And they have an application to fill out, and then the folks will send in the applications to the board, okay? And then we read through it, and then the board votes on it to say, yes, these guys will stay, no, these guys will not. So it's a difficult decision at times.
It is difficult.
It is.
But it's a good thing that you guys are doing this annually.
Yeah.
So if they don't make it this time, there's an opportunity the following year.
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing this year is, and it's a good and bad in a way, anyone that did send in an application this year, we selected everyone.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
That is really good. So I have 2 more questions to ask. Well, right now in my mind, but
more might come.
All right. Number 1, when do you start fundraising again for the following year?
We actually will start fundraising or start the Youngstown Marathon again. Mm-hmm. It'll probably right around January 1. So we take a couple months off.
It's just a little bit of a break before it keeps going.
Exactly. Because I mean, it's not just a 2-month a year job. I mean,
it's not.
It's a solid 10 months.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And in order to grow that money, so you'll be able to provide those nonprofits and charities what they need.
Yep.
You do need to start early on.
Absolutely.
All right. Final question is, how do you go through the selection of which I love the fact that you understand the significance of the beer partnered with the race. Yes. But what's the process of selecting the breweries that you'll be working with? The first year was Birdfish, right?
First year was Birdfish. The second year was North High.
Yes. Okay. Also good.
Oh, they're great. And they're good friends of mine. What the board wanted to do this year, and there was like no ifs, ands, or buts, okay, is we wanted to keep it local, okay? And what better way than go to with Penguin City? Aspasia and Richie are just great folks. I gave them a call, and they go, absolutely, we'll do it. So we worked out some details, and I said we would really like, a special beer for the race. Go, we could sit down and name it together, and they go, absolutely. So they are great partners, I'll say that.
That's great. So you were part of the process from the beginning when it came to the beer, the choice, the name, everything.
I didn't have anything to deal with the selection of the type of beer.
Okay.
That was all Richie. Okay. He's the master brewer that I understand. He's a really good singer. So he sings and brews his beer at the same time.
He's multi-talented.
That's what I heard. Yep. So, so that's how we did it.
So for next year, should the local brewers all bring you taste testing? And then if that's the case, can I be on the board?
We're always looking for new board members. Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Lisa, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
And we just want to say to everyone out there, there's an opportunity if you're thinking about still running to run, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could sign up the day of. Normally, to run a marathon, it takes 16 weeks to train. If it's your first one, more like 20 weeks. But you're more than welcome to sign up for the full, the half, the 5K, the 5K relay with the bartenders. And most importantly, have a legendary run.
That's right. Definitely. And then come out and see everyone.
Oh, yeah. Come out, cheer us on, volunteer. Yep.
Hang out in Celebration Village.
Absolutely.
And celebrate.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Homes and Hops is proudly supported by Platt Insurance, your local independent insurance agency offering auto, home, life, business, and farm insurance. They also have a team of specialists that help you with insuring your brewery or winery. Platt Insurance, helping you protect your tomorrow. For more information or a quote, please call them at 330-856-6244 or visit them on the web at platteinsurance.com.